Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our fireside called Validating Black Students in LAUSD in the local District South area. My name is Jaleesa Johnson. I am a community organizer with Innovate Public Schools. And all that means is that for the past 3 years, I had the pleasure of leading a team of Black families to the creation of the validated plan for Black students. And so today, I have invited some of those families, some of those Black parents who were on the front lines of that movement to join in on a conversation to share and highlight the work of the validated plan. So I'm going to call my friends, my family onto the screen with me. These are special people. I'm going to allow you all to introduce yourselves. Melissa, you can start.
Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Mack. I am a substitute teacher in the district and a mother of a 5-year-old who was at Lock EEC since she was 2, actually. And I just saw the disparities in my community and those, that was more fortunate. And I said, why can't we have it?
Thank you, Melissa.
And
And that's Amara back there. I'm going to pass it to Keisha. Keisha, introduce yourself.
So my name is Keisha Jones. I am a single mom with 2 little ladies, and I work for a community health at a community clinic, and I work for a mental health and wellness program. So I'm definitely doing work in the community and feeling all the effects of parenting.
Thank you, Keisha. And last but not least, Pastor Peter Watts. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Peter Watts. I'm a pastor of the Rock Church here in Los Angeles on 20th and Vermont, right near USC. I'm a former educator. I'll say former, but I'm still an educator, but a former teacher in LAUSD. I started teaching in 1997. Then I became a school site administrator and then a district administrator. And so I have about 22 plus years in education, community organizing, and pastoring as well. I have 3 adult children who all went through the public school system. My youngest daughter, who graduated from a district school, Ramon Cortines High School in downtown LA. And my wife is also an educator as well.
Thank you, Pastor Pete. This time is like our first time going live, if we're being honest, as a team. But we feel like we have so much to share with you all, as well as we are feeling very joyous because the launch of the validated plan is happening right now in local District South schools. And for the past 2.5 years, these parents that you see have been working to really create and implement this plan in local District South. So these parents on this live right now are feeling really empowered, but also have a lot to share with you all. And so our goal today is to really pick their brains and really hear from them of, one, their experience of getting to the implementation of the validated plan. Then also, what does it mean to be a Black parent and doing this work? So I want us to really jump right in because I want to hear from these parents. And our first question is, how do we get here, y'all? Can someone really share, like, what did it take for us to get to this moment where we have 14,000 Black students benefiting from a plan that's intentionally for them? How do we get here?
blood, sweat, and tears.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we got here just by engaging parents and engaging the community. I don't think for us, it wasn't an isolated thing where everybody wanted to like be a wonder, but we all worked together as a team. And we really saw a need for Black kids, and we reached out and we kept going and we're loud and we never gave up. And even when people wouldn't talk to us, we were like, "Hey, y'all, we here." I think we just persevered through a pandemic as well.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. P, I heard you was about to chime in too.
Yeah, I was just thinking back over the past couple of years. I think we started back in spring of 2018, and we had that data brief that talked about Black student achievement and how there were 50,000 Black students in LAUSD, and so we started organizing ourselves, and we came together. We had, I don't know, probably about 120 meetings, which included like two superintendents, district administrators, probably like five different district administrators. If we were clocking hours, it'd be over 300 hours of volunteering and presenting and organizing phone calls, one-on-ones, house meetings, voting in board members, meeting with Superintendent Mike Romero, who in 2019 in December uh, said that he stood in the pulpit and said that he would unapologetically ensure that Black students would get the resources and attention that they deserve. And so I think the pandemic hit, and it was quiet for a while, but as fate would have it, we got reconnected with the district because we again kept calling, kept emailing, even from behind the computers in Zoom, being on lockdown during the pandemic, and we were able to again engage again, and we started working on a plan with LAUSD as partners, with them and helping to devise that plan, write that plan, and it got us here to this point to where we get to celebrate the work for the past several years that we've been engaged in with the district.
So thank you for that. Sorry, I just wanted to hop in, and Jaleesa ended up having to reconnect, but my name is Cheyenne, and I'm going to facilitate while Jaleesa hops back on. Melissa, were you going to answer? I mean, Keisha, were you going to answer the question also? I was just going to add to, the reasons that we all came together in the first place, to do the work with our own, individual challenges that we had with the district and the schools that our children, well, my children attend and then others' children attended. And, just our reasons for being here in the first place, and understanding that our children, it's for our children, but then also letting them see, leadership, true leadership, from their parent and then others in the community as well. Thank you for sharing. And so our next question is asking, why the validated, what does it mean to be validated, and why is it important for Black parents and families? Um, I mean, I could chime in on that. What does it mean to be validated? As soon as I hear that, I think of the fact that um, we are being heard. So first and foremost, we're being heard, and the fact that we are coming together, now we're being seen. Once we assemble, now we're being seen. So that's what validated means to me, that we actually have the ear of the district, and you hear us and you see us now.
I was just gonna say the same thing, but just adding to that, I think it just shows Black families, period, that we care. If nobody else care, you have a group of people that are gonna have your back, and we see you, and we hear you, and it's something to be seen. Like when you spend your like life not being seen and not being heard, for somebody just to say that I see you, I got you. I think it remedies a lot of problems when we talk about parent involvement, because I know for me it's just, I mean, in life it's hard to like even care about anything if I don't feel like somebody cares, you know. So it's just, it gives Black families that extra oomph that they need to be like, yeah, I got this. I know there's someone out there that got my back and I have these resources. So let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, I would say I really think that the parents were already validated before the plan was even named the validated plan. And I actually believe that parents' power validates this plan. And what I mean by that is that they're the ones who organize. They were the ones who made the phone calls. They were the ones who knocked on the doors, held the one-on-ones, the house meetings. They're the ones who kept sharing their stories about the struggles that they were having in their in the challenges that their children were having in the district. So when this plan got put together in partnership with the school district and the district representatives and the parents' fingerprints are all over this plan. And I believe that that's what validates this plan. And that is why I think it's the validated plan. I think they have now come to believe and understand that their voice matters. And because the school district can't validate them, they were already validated when they showed up at the table and got a seat at the table, or really created their own seat at the table. So the parents validated the plan from the very beginning. So that's what I think about when I think about the name of the validated plan.
Yeah, we definitely pulled that chair out and sat down.
Parent approved.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I know this is on a lot of people's minds, and we've been asked this question a lot. What's making this plan different? So oftentimes we hear, man, they always are putting out a plan. Black students always get lost in these plans. So what makes this promise made to Black students and families? What makes it different?
I think the parent involvement is not just somebody like, okay, so when we first started the work, I'm not gonna lie, I was tired of hearing all these parent committees, or what is the word? Advisory committee. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Somebody say that word to me one more time. I'm gonna scream, right? And it was just these people who are out of touch with families put it together. And they weren't really reaching the people who needed to be reached. They were kind of just trying to involve the people that were already going to be involved in the first place. I think this plan, we try to engage those people or try to reach those people who you that wouldn't naturally come and want to be involved and want to hear about it. I think that's the thing. We heard their voice and we put their opinions in this plan. And that's what makes it different.
And I think it's a great example of what it looks like when you have your district administration staff, the ones who kind of make the wheels turn and make the decisions, that you have them at the table, you have parents at the table, and then you have community members and leaders coming to the table to support, to show that full model of what it really looks like to support students and families in their success. So, that is essential in the direction we're going to close that, help close that achievement gap and get the students the support that they need, and families.
Yeah, I think what makes this plan different is the money. There's actual money attached to this plan, and I know that there have been plans in the past, strategic plans for how kids would achieve. There were people who had desire, heart, passion, administrators who had vision, but oftentimes there was never any money, and so they would want to do things. It's like, well, we have a shoestring budget, or we don't have the resources to be able to do all that we could do. We don't have the we don't have the money to hire the personnel to be able to do what we would want to do. And I think the last time, sort of a plan like this that had money attached to it that I could remember was something that I was a part of when I first started teaching in LAUSD back in '97, which was the 10 schools plan with the late Dr. Ted Alexander. But this plan, again, is not just a plan that's on paper, but there's actual resources attached to this plan where people can be hired, material can be purchased, goals can be reached. And so I think that is one of the major things that's different about this plan than others.
Something that I heard from all three of you is that this plan didn't start inside of the district, right? This plan started outside in the community. Like Melissa said, this isn't a plan that was wrapped in some advisory group where the district controlled the narrative. This plan was actually from you all's brain, right? And you all's attempt at listening to other Black families, right? And coming together and saying, this is what needs to be met. And this plan is not a one size fits all, right? Because we didn't hear a one size fit all solution from families. We heard some folks need more access to AP and GATE programs. And then we also heard, hey, my child is behind and I need help and I shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for tutoring. And so I think the myriad of options that the validated plan offers is also what makes this plan different.
Yeah, the plan it was not top down, but it was bottom up. It was bottom up leadership. The people who were closest to the pain were the ones whose voices got this plan done.
So you all have seen a lot of shifts while pushing for this plan. Prior to a pandemic, when we first got this commitment in December of 2019, a pandemic happened. The murder of George Floyd occurred. Our nation went into a state of unrest. We also didn't really hear from LAUSD Local District South during that time. It was very silent. And then through our work and strategy, we were able to get back to the table and to really continue out and accomplish this plan, right? And now we're here sitting at the launch of the validated plan. We've created a playbook for families. And so my question is, through all of that, what's next? Now that the validated plan is in place, what do you all think is to come for Black families in Local District South?
You know what? I tend to err on the pessimistic side. Sorry, y'all. I feel like it's more work. With anything and any good thing, I should say, people always try to hoard it to themselves. And just knowing like life, they don't just hand you anything. So I think it's more educating from here on out, educating families, educating students on what these resources are and what they can do with this plan, how it can benefit them. I think it's just that education that we are going to have to push.
Yeah, I don't think that's pessimistic, Melissa. I think what you're highlighting is that we can't wash our hands with it, right? Just because we have set up a plan, just because we provided a playbook for families, does that mean that we walk away? We have to stay in it for the long run.
And I kind of huffed as well because, what it's going to take is more parent involvement and parent power. And so the work in that area is definitely some work to be done. Like, how do we get more parents involved in their children's education success? How do we get the parents who feel stuck unstuck to at least just show up for your kid? If you are in a state where you can't show up for anything else, can you at least show up for your kid? So that is something I always am brainstorming on, like how to support the parents who can't physically show up or who are reluctant to physically show up, and why. And if we could get to the why, which we know that it's definitely going to take some work, then it would encourage the kids as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the work, the real work starts now. And I say that because now there are no excuses on either side. There are no excuses on the side of the district because they have a plan and they have money. There's no excuses on the side of the parents because we have a plan and there's money. And so now it's all about holding one another accountable. We so far in this process, we've been partners. It has not been an adversarial relationship, but it also has not been like a skip to my loo relationship either. But both sides have held each other accountable in healthy ways, and so I think that that needs to continue. And I also think that as both Melissa and Keisha have said, more parents, more Black parents in LAUSD South should be coming to the table to be a part of holding the district accountable to what they said that they would do. And I'm excited that there's a playbook because now parents have a tool to use when they're holding the district accountable. Because a lot of times, a lot of parents aren't educators. They don't have an educational background, or they're in some other industry. And so, there's this, it's its own lingo, it's its own world. And a lot of times parents can feel lost. Like when they get there, well, what do I look for? Or what do I say? Or who do I talk to? Well, but having a playbook gives them that tool to have access to, even if they don't know what to look for, now they know what to look for, or they know what questions to ask, and to hold people accountable for what they said they would do.
Yeah. Listening to you all makes me ask another question because we have a little bit more time. And I'm thinking about what we observed. Pete shared some numbers of like the amount of Black families we listened to, the amount of Black families we actually had in this process from beginning to end. We didn't work in silos. And I think that our numbers are what gave us the ability to push the district to act bold in this way. And so when you all think about those efforts and the amount of people we listen to, what does Black parent power mean to you? I can share. For me, it's resiliency. Uh, the
My
same,
computer just froze out.
no worries. Uh, Resiliency for me comes to mind when I think about those moments because all of you all and the folks that we were listening to, we're working jobs, right? We're being mothers, we're being fathers, juggling multiple kids, trying to keep a roof over their heads while also doing this work. So I think a lot about resiliency when I think about Black parent power.
I mean, for me, it's that unity piece. Like, even when you say resilient, like if one is down, being able to tag the other one and knowing that, we're all on the same page and we're gonna come just tagging one in. That's a form of support for one another. And so I always just imagine if it were more of us and we're able to do that and how much more power that would be, and empowering to us,
Yeah.
and make us even more proud of what we're doing. And even if others, how it translate, if others can't join us, then they definitely be supporting us in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I think parent power looks like people understanding what they can contribute however little it is or however much it is, but feeling like they can play a part in some way. And so, I'm a pastor, so we always talk about, the body of Christ and the church having different parts to make up the body. And so I think about this group here and the power that we have as parents of being one body as a parent, as a group, but people having different parts, playing different parts, and playing to their strengths. So sometimes some parents could not make those meetings or could not, but they were able to make the phone call. They were able to send the email. They were able to make copies or do a one-on-one or introduce us to a parent that could be more active. And so it takes everybody in whatever people can give in their stage of life that they're in, whatever they can give. We were open to receiving it as a gift. And so I saw every parent that was a part of this group as a gift to the larger group that they brought to the table.
Yeah.
You know what? I was listening to both Keisha and Pete talk, or Pastor Pete, and I was thinking like in this specific moment, I feel like parent power represents an awakening, right? Because when we think about the Black community, a lot of times people say we don't have community, or we don't show up for our kids. But for right now, we represent, and everyone that we work with represent that this is a new wave, right? We do have Black parents who will be involved. We do have Black parents who's going to hold the district accountable, and we will get the best for our kids. So I feel like it's just awakening of knowledge of our community, of our strength, of our resilience, to know that we can and we will, and we don't have to accept less.
Yeah, I think it changes the narrative that's out there that Melissa was talking about. The narrative that Black parents are not engaged, that they don't care. That I think it changes the narrative and lets people know that there are parents out there that do care. There are parents out there that want the best for their children. Again, I was a teacher and a school site administrator, and I've never run into a parent that did not care about their child.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and so to have that narrative out there that Black parents don't care is a false narrative. And so this I believe change is one step in changing that narrative that's out there about black parents.
And you know what's sad about that narrative too is that we believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Black people believe it, and we have been talking like feeding it to like people for so long, and it just became accepted as truth. So I'm glad that we represent that change.
Yeah. And when you say people believe it, now we are offering something else to believe in too.
Yeah.
We give them a counter narrative.
Yeah.
The way to change a negative narrative is to give a counter narrative. So we're pushing the wheel in the other way. So we
Yes.
break that cycle.
Yes. We're breaking that cycle for sure.
And
Well,
even showing, oh my, it keeps
no, go ahead.
freezing.
No, you're fine. Keep going.
Oh no, I was gonna say even showing, like, let's say you got that parent who has to work two jobs and it's something that's going on and the kid feels a certain way. It's like, nah bro, nah sis, we got them. And the kid can feel like somebody still cares enough to show up for me. And so it's that other part that's just like we're all in it together, like that parent power again.
Yeah, it really became that Ubuntu. It takes a village. We were that village to one another. When somebody needs to watch somebody's children, we have people like, okay, we're gonna watch kids, so you can be a part of this meeting. We brought food, and like whatever it takes. We were trying to do that to ensure that people had power in a seat at the table.
Yeah. And those values I want to highlight that Pete just shared seeped into as we push the district to be able to be at a collaborative place with parents. So I will never forget when Mr. Romero asked us, like, what's the best way to communicate with you? I've sent out so many letters to your mailbox, and Alex says, I don't check the mailbox, you know? Or when we have our meetings with Local District South, when we got to a place of actually co-creating this plan, no, we cannot meet during the times that is best for you. We need to meet for the times that are best for parents. And so we started shifting the mindset of even the system and what it means to work with families and be able to make it work for them. Uh, just like having food at our meetings and having childcare at our meetings was a way to say, hey, we're going to meet you all wherever you are to be able to get in this fight with us. We're pushing the district to do the same of what it means to really be involved with parents. So I'm glad you pulled some of that out, Pete. Well, I think we shared a lot about how we got here, and some of the components of what it took for us to get to this validated plan. And we've been talking a lot about the validated plan, and we really didn't provide you all with like a clear definition of what the validated plan is. And so I have that on the screen for you all to really know what this plan is. This is a plan that has been rolled out in Local District South for Black students. And there are about 14,000 Black students in this area of LAUSD. And there are 5 action steps that are attached to this validated plan. And our team has not only been a part of the creation of this validated plan, these parents who are on the call also took the time to create a playbook for the validated plan. And so we've created a tool for families to be able to navigate through the validated plan. Like someone mentioned before, it has a lot of jargon, right? And it's sometimes hard to figure out, well, what does this mean for my child? And so we've created a playbook for families to be able to ask the questions to their teachers about the validated plan, to be able to know exactly what are the supports that are coming out of those 5 action steps so that families can easily make the ask and get their child access to some of these resources. And it furthers that accountability. And so next Thursday, September 30th at 6:30, you will see Pete, you will see Melissa, you will see Keisha again, me, and a bunch of other Black families. And we are introducing what we call the Validated Peoples Playbook, where we have some members of Local District South. We have Mr. Romero, the local district superintendent, who will be there. We have Board District 7's board member, Tanya Ortiz Franklin. And we also are expecting some representation from the state superintendent, Tony Thurman's office. And we're all bringing these stakeholders together to, one, make a commitment to continue to see through this validated plan, right? To continue to see these actions, but also to empower families with this playbook, with this tool to be able to act on the validated plan, to be able to navigate it. So we're inviting everyone to this event September 30th. If you check the comments, you can register utilizing that link from 6:30 to 8:30 next Thursday. Pastor Pete or Melissa, do you all have anything to say about the action, our meeting next Thursday?
No, I would just say that by the very fact that of the people that you named that are going to be there, we have Black parents that are going to be there, of course, but then we have the district officials that will be there as well, and even representation from the state. So the impact that our group is having is nothing to sneeze at. It's monumental, and I think it'll be it's going to be a great kind of a plan going forward for other Black families across this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not as eloquent as Pastor Pete, but I will say show up and be loud and make your voice heard for our kids, because even if we're not enough, we're not enough. We need everybody. We need everybody to show up in those rooms in front of those people that have the power and show them that we are not going away.
Yeah.
So be loud.
I'm glad you pulled that out because we're fighting every time we do a public display of power. So numbers can't be low. If you are a Black parent in local district South, or you are just a Black person who wants to show up in numbers, you need to be at these events because that's where things start to change. Keisha, you want to ask what you're looking forward to next Thursday?
Oh, next Thursday, I'm looking forward to, a good turnout, like even more than our first one, because the first one was definitely full. And more feedback. I look forward to more people, just joining us moving forward. And that's like the start.
Okay, last, Pete, I saw you were about to say something.
Oh no, I was just going to say, Melissa, you are eloquent in your words.
Yes.
Your words are powerful.
Yes, they are.
They are sharper than any two-edged sword.
Well, we're grateful for the folks who were able to join us, and we'll continue to share this. We ask everyone to share this video, share the flyer, share the link for next Thursday, and continue to be in movement with us and community. Thank you, everyone, and good night.